Hi, Ed Diaz here. In today's video, we're going to show you how to create a performance running two separate step sequences inside the Roland System-8. So first off, let's go ahead and press the performance button. And now let's create a performance from scratch. So remember, press and hold Shift, hit the performance button, and the keyboard asks me if I would like to initialize, and I would, so press the Enter button. Great, now that's completed. Let's go ahead and choose now what sounds we're going to have in the upper and the lower sections of the System-8. So to choose the upper, I'm going to press and hold the upper, and I'm going to go ahead and choose from the System-8 engine A6, which is an oscillator sync lead. And then in the lower, I'm going to press and hold the lower, and as you see it comes up, I can choose any of the engines of the System-8. I'm going to use C7, which is a saw bass. And now let's hear them individually. So I'm going to shut down the lower part so I can hear only the upper. Great. Now let's do the same thing to the lower, but shut down the upper. Now let's go ahead and create two step sequences. So first off, we went ahead and the upper is shut down, and we made sure to have the panel select, the lower selected. So we're going to hear the lower, and we're going to be able to edit the lower. So before we do anything, let's make sure there isn't a step sequence already built for that particular patch. So let's press the Start button. There actually is, so let's go ahead, press and hold the Edit Display button and hit the Erase button. Great, and now let's press Enter to erase that sequence, and yes, I am sure. So let's go ahead and adjust the sequence here to 16 steps. So remember, press and hold Edit and hit the Length button. Great, it's set on 32, so we're going to use the Value knob and put it on 16. All right, now exit. So I'm going to use my real-time record, and let's record 16 steps for the bass. And since it's a bass, I'll stay down in the lower section. Great. Let's go ahead and press the Start and see what we got. Let's adjust that tempo a little bit. It's at 61. Great, so we have a step sequence on the lower. Let's go ahead and do the same thing, but for the upper now. So I'm gonna turn part on upper, turn off the lower, and I'm gonna go to panel select and press upper. So now we should only hear the sync lead in the upper section. Great, now once again, let's go ahead and see if there is already a step sequence in the upper. So press the Start button. Yes, there is. So remember to erase it, press and hold the Edit, hit Erase, and now we can go ahead and press Enter to erase all. And yes, I am sure. So now we have a clear slate to go ahead and put a step sequence for the upper now. So let's go ahead and press Step Record, and let's pick some notes in the upper section and see what happens. Okay, great. So obviously I made a little mistake right there. I didn't check the length, but no problem. I can go ahead and do that afterwards. So I can go ahead and press Edit and Length, and it's on 64 where our first one was on 16. But I tell you what, instead of adjusting it, let's leave it there. So we're gonna have in the lower section, the step sequence is gonna be 16, and in the upper section, it's going to be 64. So, and then we're going to run them simultaneously. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. I'll turn on both parts, and let's press the Start button and see what happens. That's pretty interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and start editing the lower, and I'm going to go ahead and just take out different steps. And remember, there's 16 steps in the lower, so let's go ahead and do that now. Great, pretty interesting. Now let's go into the upper section and start editing it in the upper. Now remember, in our example of the upper, we have 64 steps to deal with. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and press Start, and we're going to move to the different measures of the upper just by holding down the shift. And let's go ahead and do that now. So take out some different steps. Press and hold shift. Now I'm going to go to measure 2. Now I'll go to measure 3. Now I'll go to measure 4. So pretty cool. So we have 2 step sequences going simultaneously, a 16 step in the lower and a 64 step in the upper, and we've went ahead and already gone through some of the steps and muted them. Now let's have some more fun. Let's go ahead and adjust the play modes. All right, so I'm going to adjust the play mode of the upper first, and let's get that going. Have it on inverted. Tell you what, let's go random. And let's go ahead and adjust the first step and last step. Now let's go ahead and put it in real time and adjust how let's record some CC messages. So I'll put it on here, and first step and 16 step, and let's adjust. Real time record. Take off real time record. Great. Now let's go to lower and do some similar. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it over here. Press and hold the shift. And remember, it's already there, so we should be good. And we can go ahead over here and let's check some different stuff. And there we are in the lower. And let's go ahead and adjust it a little bit, put it in random. And now let's do a real-time record for the lower. And now let's just adjust first step and last step. Pretty cool. And let's go ahead and adjust some of these guys as well. So as you see, it's very easy to go into this Roland System-8 and create a performance that has 2 separate step sequences going simultaneously. All right, you guys go ahead and check out this video, review it, and make your own step sequences in each of the parts of the performance section of the System-8. All right, take care. I hope this helps you, and we'll talk to you later.